Santi.
How are you, my friend? Doing good?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
I'm actually doing really good. We have some news here to share that you guys are not expecting at all, so that's nice.
Very cool.
Is it that Santi's finally gonna sing?
I mean, now we're
Oh.
expecting it, so
No. Well, yeah, now, yeah. But you weren't expecting it before.
we were not.
Nice, nice. I like to see the unseen growing, my friend. I see a couple people from the unseen. Nice.
Yeah, our biggest problem is we're mostly like Central and Pacific North America, so like it's right in the middle of workday for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. No, it's really appreciated. Like all the people that joined the brew, even though it's on a Wednesday in the middle of a workday. I bet a couple of you are actually at work right now, just listening to the brew. So that's actually super cool. That's actually super cool.
Got to get in, man.
Yeah, man.
Any way possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I work from home, so I kind of just hang out and listen to you guys all the time anyway. So
Nice. That's the life. That's the life. That's perfect, bro. That's perfect.
I actually do now also. I started a new
Nice,
job
bro.
last week. Work from home.
Bro, I saw your video. What Star Atlas means to you, man. You almost make me cry, bro. I love
Yeah,
it.
you guys loved that. I was just being real, bro.
Man. Yeah. No, it's awesome. It's awesome. Oh, I like to see the brew for the brew from Gasinor. That's nice, man. Pepsi Appa, American Pale Ale. That's nice, bro. That's really nice. I actually have a coffee right now only. I'm sticking to the classics. But yeah, I think we can get started. Guys, welcome to the Atlas Brew number 64. I know we have a lot of new people today. A couple guys looking for a code to participate in Never Alone. So we wanted to give you a welcome to the Atlas Brew if this is the first time you're joining, and explain you a little bit what the Atlas Brew is. So the Atlas Brew is weekly Star Atlas community gathering where we get some beers, we get some coffee or whatever you want to drink, and we talk about a wide range of topics that come from economics, politics, and game structure. We also have a brew that it's just for community updates. And that's actually next week, if I'm not mistaken. We actually take notes here and we send that to the team. We populate a Notion document that is sent to the team every time we have a brew. And in this brew, there's also an Alone quest that you will be able to claim by entering the password that we will give a little bit later in this brew. So you can get your XP and prove you were here. That said, I want to welcome my co-hosts, Dominic Bain. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. We have a really exciting Atlas Brew planned out for today. I'm really excited to. Game structure is probably my favorite Atlas Brew topic, only because I love to theory craft about how different things can happen in game, and then also like it's really cool because a lot of opinions that you guys have are really good, and we pass those ideas on to the team. So, really excited to talk about the different species today. I think it's going to be a really exciting conversation.
It's going to be great. There's a lot of lore that we're dropping in this Atlas Brew, so if you guys are into lore, you're going to have a lot of fun. And for lore, of course, we have the lore master himself, Jose. How are you, my friend?
Hey Santi, how are you doing, brother? Super excited for today. I'll try to not get myself fired because, yeah, there's lots of lore to cover. And especially when we start talking about game structure linked with the lore, that's when things start getting crazy, right?
Totally,
So,
bro.
yeah. Today's the day that we dream about the future of Star Atlas, the future of our metaverse, and make it entertaining, make every faction meaningful, every species interesting and fun on their own accords. So yeah, let's go wild.
Yeah. So as you heard, guys, we're talking today about advantages and disadvantages of different species in game. But as always, before we hop on the main topic, we'll do some noteworthy news. First, we dropped the Atlas Star. Just what was included in the Atlas Star this last week.
Bro, the last Atlas Star was focused on value destruction and depreciation. Basically, how in the previous Atlas Star, we spoke about how we produce stuff inside the Star Atlas galaxy, how we can generate wealth inside game structure and loops. And then there's the other part of the economic equation of the game to keep our economy healthy, and that's depreciation and that's destruction. We are talking there about the high risk zone, but also about how resources can be destroyed by other means, like, for example, if you don't store properly your livestock while you are fighting them in the Star Atlas galaxy, they will most likely die and you lose your cargo. So we explore lots of different things, and that makes our choices and the game knowledge meaningful. That gives utility to the different careers and to our currency. So yeah, I think it's a good read for anyone that's interested in the future of Star Atlas, for sure.
Nice. So, guys, if you're interested in the Atlas Star, you will get updates as well on our roadmap and all that Jose mentioned. So make sure to actually go and give it a good read, guys. And now, as you saw in announcements, we have a surprise, a small surprise. There's a town hall this Friday, guys. We have the Star Atlas town hall happening this Friday. And we have a very, very special guest for this Friday. We have CPO Danny Floyd Bunthius joining us this Friday, as always, here in the Atlas Amphitheater in Discord. So make sure you guys join. So,
Man, we told people, right? We told people once one thing comes out, it's back to back to back to back to back from here on out. So I'm super excited. Things aren't cooling down yet, for sure.
we said it. We said it. It's going to be an intense year. Boom, boom, bap, release after release. So we have a town hall. We have a town hall on Friday. That's all I'm going to say right now. That's all
Yeah,
I'm going to say.
what I'm going to say about this is that whenever Danny Floyd is on stage, the alpha drops.
Oh,
This is the
absolutely. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link again in the chat, guys. Go interact with it. If you can, retweet, favorite. Appreciate everything that comes that way. But yeah, really excited for the town hall this Friday, guys. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
you guys
make
are
sure
excited
to
too.
join. There's going to be a lot of information there. We also have a nice interview with Danny. If you have any questions that you would like to ask Danny, I think it's a good moment. If you would like to ask anything to Danny, we will take notes. We are preparing the Q&A part for Danny, so if there are any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the Atlas Brew chat. Again, just as a reminder for the brew, if you don't want to speak but you want to follow the conversation and be part of the conversation, we use the Atlas Brew chat, not the one that is in the voice chat. We use the Atlas Brew one that is 2 channels above, and we are constantly checking that channel. So make sure to chat there if you want. And again, like, we know it's short notice, only 2 days of notice before the town hall, but we promise it's going to be fun. And yeah, make sure to mark the disco event as interested. Do we drop here also, Dom, the disco event?
Oh yeah, let me drop that.
Yeah, so drop it in the Atlas Brew chat so people can go and mark interested there. And yeah, make sure to mark as interested, guys. You don't want to miss this one, for sure. So that was a little surprise. I bet you guys weren't expecting it, though. I guess you guys weren't expecting it. So nice surprise, nice announcement during the brew. In other topics, I think we can move on from the town hall now. It's going to happen on Friday. Again, mark us interested. So we also integrated Backpack to our wallet integration. So if you guys use Backpack, Backpack is one of the new Solana wallets. And if you guys use Backpack,
Wrong link.
yeah, wrong link.
Hey, I have a question about Backpack, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Um, I saw somebody talking about it the other day. I actually don't use it, but it's apparently not usable with Sage right now. Any word on that?
Yeah. There's plans for that, but the first thing that we implemented is just Galactic Marketplace
Yeah, just being able
usability.
to use it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it will be integrated later on for sure. For sure, it's a great wallet. It's a great experience. I like it. Clean UI, user experience is on point as well. So we recommend it as well. If you want to use Backpack, make sure to download it and use it. Or if you already use Backpack, you can connect it to the marketplace. What else? What else? What else? Oh, we have a new sneak peek. We have a new sneak peek. So if you guys go to sneak peeks, we just dropped. This was on Friday. If you go to the sneak peeks channel, you will see that we have the Floyd Lerner and Pierce X6 interior shots, which are looking really, really good, guys.
Man, I'm trying to be humble. I really am, but I just don't see another Web3 game doing anything close to the quality that's in that sneak peek right there. I just don't see it.
I have to agree, Dominic Bain.
I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. Like, I genuinely just don't see it. I think we're just
It's
heads and
facts.
shoulders
It's
above the
facts.
rest.
It's like the UE5 team in Star Atlas is actually crushing it.
Yeah.
And we have to say it. We have to say it.
Seat looks so comfy.
Yeah, right? Looks real, man.
It does. It looks good.
Looks real. Looks real. So yeah, guys, again, the UE5 team is crushing it. And if you want to learn more also about how the UE5 team works, what are their workflows, how they build things, well, we have actually an interview with Danny Floyd, CPO, on Friday. So make sure to join the town hall. Cool. There's also, I'm not sure if we want to share it, but there's a Bitboat sneak peek that was dropped.
Oh
want to
yeah,
share it, Dominic Bain?
let me grab that one too.
Have a-
Who leaked it?
Oh, who? The
Come on,
chief leaks officer.
yeah, Chief Leaks Officer leaked this one.
Oh, wait, we're getting no. Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, look before I delete it. Bye, bye, Bitboat. Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah. We were almost fired, I think, right there.
Almost
Wow.
fired live, ladies and gentlemen.
Almost fired live. Wow. Wow. So yeah,
Hmm.
I think now, after avoiding being fired, just by, well, it's actually out on Twitter and everywhere. But yeah, at least we weren't.
At least, yeah,
we
weren't the ones
didn't.
who
We
did it.
didn't do anything.
We
Salute
didn't do
us.
anything. Nothing happened.
Can we get some F's in the chat for us? Because you won't see us tomorrow. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, guys. F in the chat because that was
Too
ICT
much.
members in the chat. We
Too much.
rip.
The only way you get your job back now is if you say,
No way. No. We're preparing a song with Dominic for. I'm not going to say for when.
It was a theory crafted image. We're fine.
Yeah, that was theory crafted image.
That
Absolutely.
was a
you know.
very crafted image, bro. Yeah, right. Exactly.
I love
That's
it.
perfect. That's perfect. So yeah, I think now we covered most of the noteworthy news. Again, Town Hall on Friday. It's going to be great. Going to learn a lot from the UE5 team, and well, I will shut up so I don't spoil what's going to happen there, because I know myself, and I will get fired twice in a day. And yeah, I think we can move to the main topic. But before, we have a code, Dominic Bain, to give to the people for Never Alone.
Yeah, listen, guys. We know some people are here for the code for the XP and not for our beautiful faces. So I'm going to put the code in the chat now, and I'm also going to say it out loud, and then Santi will also say it in Spanish for those of you who are here who don't speak English. So, all right, the code is going in the chat right now. Lowercase, everybody. Lowercase spicy 426. Spicy 426.
Man, this is the best code
Shit,
ever.
I could have guessed that one.
Yeah, you guys could have guessed this
Yeah,
one.
you could have tried. You could have tried, guys. So yeah, that's the code to redeem the XP on Never Alone. And now we will see the listeners dropping to 50 people, right?
Excuse me, put some respect on our names.
It was
I'm
a good
joking, bro.
while it lasted.
We've been running like around 100 in brew, right? Like 90 to 100.
No. We're going to learn a lot about the Star Atlas lore, so I recommend everyone to stay. But that's the code Spicy426. Ese es el código Spicy426, Spicy426. I said it in Spanish, guys. Somebody
Thank
I'll
you.
say
request
it in
that.
Portuguese as well, just to flex my Portuguese.
Yeah,
Say it
say it
in
in
Portuguese,
Portuguese.
bro.
426.
Spicy426.
Oh my god, man.
Futebol. Futebol.
Oh
Suco de
my god.
laranja.
My
That's all
god.
I know, bro. That's all I know. I'm sorry, bro. But yeah, now let's move to the main topic. So advantages and disadvantages of different species in game. And as you know, guys, we have 3 factions in Star Atlas: Oni, Mod, and Ustur, and some of them have species inside the faction. So, Jose, any brief introduction you want to give on the Star Atlas factions before we hop on the species?
Yes. For the people that are new to Star Atlas over here, our universe right now is divided into 3 main political entities. Not the whole universe, but the part of the galaxy that the players inhabits. Those 3 factions, they are the Mud, the Ustur, and the Oni. The Mud is an empire that risen to the stars after they were visited by an alien of the Photoli species. We are going to talk about them.
I'm sorry,
later
Jose.
today.
Can I just interrupt you really quick?
Yes,
Super
sure.
quick. I see some people confused about what the code is. So the code is for a quest on Zeely for our Never Alone campaign. If you guys aren't familiar with that, you can scroll back in our announcements. It's basically a social campaign where you can complete quests, get XP, and get some loot. But the code that we gave is for quest on Never Alone. So you go to Zeely, you get in there, and then you put this code that we just gave into that quest, and then you get the XP. So hope that cleared up any confusion that some people may have. I see Funcracker doing his best out there. Appreciate you.
As always, respect to Funcracker.
All right. Sorry,
Shout out to
Jose.
Funcracker.
No problems, bro. So yeah, in the Star Atlas universe, humanity ascended to the stars, and in the process of ascending to the stars, they basically destroyed planet Earth. This event created a rift among humanity, and 2 groups were born from this. The first are the Muds, the main representatives of humankind, one of the 3 factions that compose the Council of Peace. And the second group, they are called Ecos, and they are deemed as a group of terrorists by their fellow humans from the Mud, and they inhabit the deeper parts of the galaxy where the Council of Peace jurisdiction doesn't work. The second group here are the Oni Consortium. The Oni Consortium is a conglomerate of alien species that joined together during the period of what's called the Convergence War. It's one of the biggest events in the Star Atlas history, and they are comprised of 4 species: the Photoli, the Sognian, the Miris, and the Punabs. We are going to talk about each one of them later today, so don't worry if you don't know about them, we will explain everything. And finally, we have the Usturs from the Ustur sector. They are the youngest civilization among the 3 factions, and they awakened a couple decades before the Convergence War. They are part androids, part biological, part electronic beings, but they have a very differently from other androids in sci-fi lore. They are really focused on experiencing emotions, and their culture revolves around what's called the path of enlightenment. So we also discuss a little bit of them, and those 3 factions right now they are at peace with one another, and they are all part of what's called the Council of Peace, which is a which is a political entity that reunites all the three factions. So right now, the galaxy is at peace. In this moment of the Star Atlas lore, if you are following Never Alone and Sage, you know that the Council of Peace, for the first time since the Convergence War, started attacking the what are called the outlaw factions of the medium zone of our galaxy. So there will be lots of lore involved in that, but I think I'm drifting from the topic of today's brew, so let's get back to the species, guys.
Should we speak about the Oni species first?
Yeah, I think the Oni species are super cool, and we can get started by them. Okay, let's start by the Sogmians, which we spoke briefly about in the last brew. The Sogmians are a race of natural-born warriors. They have a very particular story on how their civilization evolved. They are very extreme in their views, even if they come from a positive background, like they want to have peace in the galaxy. They strive to protect the weak and uphold their moral ideals, but they are a species of very extreme beings, and that's pretty much seen on their unique moral code that dwells in absolutes. The Sogmian species as a whole is also divided into different noble houses, and every Sogmian, when they reach their maturity, must choose to align themselves with one of those noble houses, and by doing that, they ascend on the ranks of this group, and this is also one of the mechanics that we'll be experiencing at some point in Star Atlas. Santi and Dominic, I think that maybe I should focus on the aspects that will be important for today's topic, right? Because
Yeah,
Exactly.
like
we are,
in game.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
things that can possibly affect the game. And just to
Yeah,
quick pause here is Santi and I posted a image actually of a Sogmian. If you guys want to get a visual of what a Sogmian would look like.
yeah, exactly. Because if I start talking about each species lore, I think that maybe we'll reach the second species before the time is up. So we, of course, don't want that. The focus of today is talking about how the species traits could be made into immersive gameplay loops and experience inside Star Atlas. So, for example, how a Punab, playing a Punab, will be different from playing a Sogmian, playing a Fotoli, playing a Mud, or playing an Ustur, for example.
Yeah, and being a competitive gamer myself, like this kind of stuff is what interests me the most because undoubtedly there has to be there's gonna be some meta, right? There's gonna be some meta. Maybe like everyone uses Sogmians because they're so broken at the start or something like that. I really do enjoy that because I like competitive gaming. And the Sogmians, I saw someone say Sogmians meta, and I mean their strength is combat. So if it's a combat focused meta, then I could definitely see Sogmians being part of that. But yeah, I'm down to get into exactly what could be in game for these, Jose. If we want to kick that off.
Just a little interruption here as well. Guys, if you have any questions on anything we're talking about, just feel free to ask. There are no bad questions. We are all learning about the Star Atlas lore together. So if you have any questions about what we're chatting about, please feel free to ask.
And also the really cool thing about the Atlas Brew as well is when we're talking about all these things and we're theory crafting together, like we said at the beginning, we're taking notes here. If you have any really cool ideas that stick out to you guys, and you guys are like, wow, it'd be really cool if the Sogmians, they're really good at combat. What if they did this in game? Let us know. Say it in chat, say it in voice comms, whatever works for you. And we're taking notes here and we're giving it to the team. So your voice could actually matter here.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome. Thank you, guys. And yeah, let's get started right away. talking about the Sogmians. So, as Dominic said, Sogmians are natural born fighters. And the way that I see this transponing to game is that they will have natural bonus on hand-to-hand combat or situations that require the use of strength or martial arts to get them done, right? Those guys, they were born to fight, and even after thousands of years of civilization, this trait didn't disappear from their DNA. And another aspect of their species is that they have ironclad will. The Sogmian, if they are, what Bohemian posted right now, it's a very good expression of what it means to be a Sogmian. A, Sog- a Sogmian will die on the hill of his beliefs. Nothing can stand between what he believes and his actions, and he will die before betraying his principles. That opens up a very interesting aspect about the bad traits of being a Sogmian. Because if it happens to a Sogmian that he ends up breaking his system of beliefs, if something happens that gets him to mess up with his moral code, the Sogmian break down. He melts down completely. They are not like humans that have some that falls down but gets up. The Sogmians in their extremes, this can get them really, really messed up. Sogmians also have a very interesting aspect, is that they can manipulate and use pheromones. So, for example, a Sogmian might know how other members of his species are feeling or behaving just by the pheromones that are emitted from their bodies. In the Sogmian lore, whenever a Sogmian betrays his core principles, he involuntarily emits pheromones that shows that they are an oath breaker. So every member of his species knows that he is no longer a civilized member of his species because he's an oath breaker. And what we want to do here, guys, is when we are thinking about this game structure linked with the different species of Star Atlas, what we want to do is create a different experience depending on the crew member that you are using at some point in time, or the composition of the crew that you are using to explore space. So,
Yeah,
for example,
just a small clarification here. If I'm getting the Sogmian lore right, in theory, like for the game, you will be, if you're a Sogmian, you will be a really good fighter, but for being an outlaw, that's going to be complicated because you will just basically snitch on yourself with the pheromones,
yeah,
right?
for a Sogmian to be an outlaw, it's a very interesting concept. There is one house of the 7 Sogmians families that's an outlaw house. They were banished from the Sogmian homeworld, and they basically don't follow the main creed of the Sogmian civilization. So this will be an interesting way for you to be a Sogmian outlaw. But what's interesting about in-game mechanics right there is that the Sogmians will be, or possibly might be, very resistant to fear, for example. So if, let's say, one thing that we were talking about before the brew, if you are getting attacked and you are close to dying, the Sogmian will keep his cool and will keep performing well, while other faction members, like for example a Miris, the Miris would try to flee the ship in the first escape pod available, because the Miris is totally different in this regard. Those guys, they focus on survival. They are survivalists. So yeah, there will be ways of creating cool mechanics that shows these different aspects of lore in game mechanics. And but the thing that I want to like the most important part of the brew today is showing you guys how the world of Star Atlas is different depending on the eyes that you are using to explore this world. As I was saying, the Sogmians they use pheromones. So, for example, let's say you get into a new planet, you have never been there, and you find native wildlife. Possibly, the Sogmians might be good to deal with this new wildlife because by using their pheromones, they can at least understand the behavior of the animals inside that planet. And if you are playing the Sogmian, you have a different view of the game. It will show you this new data that only those that can manipulate and understand pheromones have, you know? So that's one very interesting aspect that, and guys, this is theory crafting here,
In
but this
theory.
is some in theory, but it's possibly very interesting to have people from different backgrounds, different species, while exploring Star Atlas. Because, for example, this is the case of the Sogmians, but if you have, for example, a Miris in your crew, the Miris they are very resistant to poison, acids, and things like that.
Can
They
we
have
dive deep into the Miris, Jose?
yeah. Let's get into the Miris here. The Miris they are very different from the Sogmians, right? And there is occasionally conflict between those two species because it's really hard for them to understand each other. While the Sogmians will die on the hill of their beliefs, the Miris they will flee at the first the first time they figure out that it's actually dangerous for them to be in this situation, you know. The Miris they won't die with the ship like maybe very few Miris would even contemplate the idea of this happening, dying on the hill of your beliefs. So they are a totally different species. So in game, if something happens, don't rely on your Miris to take you out of a very dangerous situation of a stress level. It's not necessarily because they are very fragile, Peli. The thing is that their most important aspect in their lives is to survive. They must survive. And
Like thinking of like in-game Miris, like they just seem like the perfect bounty hunter to me. Like, or the perfect like sniper.
Oh, for sure.
I just think of like a Miris like being stealthy, kind of being scared. Not scared, but like prioritizing their lives. And making like you said, they're not dying with the ship. So I think they would be really, really good bounty hunters, and especially because they're also survivalists, right, Jose? And I know you're gonna probably get into that, so I don't want to spoil that. But they're survivalists, so I think being a sniper as a Miris could be really, really cool.
Yeah, and we posted the
Yeah.
picture of a Miris sniper in the chat, guys, if you want to check it out.
yeah, one thing that Mustache just mentioned shows this aspect of the Miris. In the core novels, there's a situation where the Miris is put against the wall. You know, Moda and the rest of the crew, they are against the wall, and there is no way for them to survive. Otherwise, you make very quick and wild maneuvers. And this is one of the aspects of the Miris. They have very heightened sense. They have very good motion control. And they will do whatever it takes to survive. So when the situation kicks in, his body automatically answers to prioritize his survival in the situation. And they are also very good in terms of stealth. Because in their homeworld, I don't know if you guys remember this, but their homeworld is an actual living planet that tries to kill them in every opportunity it has. So they have learned how to survive in this hostile environment, and this made them excellent hunters. As you guys were saying, they are natural born bounty hunters. So yeah, those guys, for example, if you have a if you are in a situation where you are exploring the galaxy and you need, for example, you find an strange and exotic fruit that you have never seen before, the Miris would be a good guy to try it out to understand what is this substance. He's also prone he's not prone to be poisoned by, for example, different atmospheres in the game, things like that. So they are also very good in terms of sociability. They are natural born diplomats. They talk very well, they express themselves very well. But usually they don't know how to read because they feel that written language sucks. So, for example, don't let your Miris do the readings anywhere because they simply don't read. You know, it's very hard for a Miris to know how to read.
Bro, like the Sir Atlas community, bro. We're all Miris. We're all Miris, guys. Can we
My
just figure it out?
God, shots fired against the community, bro.
Bro, people need to read the lore, man. I'm shooting the shots, bro.
My God. Yeah, that was wild.
Did we
So,
talk
yeah.
about their tails yet, Jose?
Oh yeah, Dominic, good point. Yeah, for example, one important aspect of being a Miris is that you see that they have tails on their heads, and this serves as a double purpose. That tail also makes them have prodigious memories, like those guys. They nearly don't forget things. So yeah, they have very good memories, and this is also due to their lore and the history of their civilizations, which we can go deeper into another brew. But it also serves as a storage of nutrients. So the Miris, they can last longer than most species because their body was made to survive and to store nutrients that they need to survive, so they can go longer than most of the other species.
So let me get this straight. So Miris, they are resistant to poison and other organic effects. They have good memory. They have good control of their body. They're very stealthy, and they're survivalists because their head tails store a lot of memories and also nutrients. I mean, this is like literally the perfect bounty hunter character. Like it's not even close. Like if you're a bounty hunter, I feel like if you're not a Miris, it's a little weird. Well, at least for the Oni faction. Man, Miris sounds like my cup of tea though, because my what got me into Star Atlas is actually being a bounty hunter and a sniper. So I think that's probably going to be my character for sure.
You want to stay in the back line sniping people, Dominic. That's it?
Exactly. I've always
Awesome.
liked sniping. Yeah.
Yeah, classic camper in Call of Duty.
Oh my god.
Bro, I'm spicy today, bro.
Yeah, you
Bro,
are.
you
Dude.
are, you are.
What the heck,
I
man?
think we're
You're taking my job, bro.
Awesome.
Stores like a camel. That. I mean, I saw that. I don't know where it went, but yeah, stores like a camel in their
Yeah.
tail with nutrients. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I guess in game they're perfect bounty hunters. They're good for those long distance travels. You might be a little bit resistant to poisons. So I think there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of in game benefits to being a Miris for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And the way that we want to do this again, guys, is to, as Dominic was saying, the introduction of the brew, we want you guys to create your crew based on your gameplay style in your meta style, you know? It might make sense to have a crew full of Miris, depending on what you are looking forward to do in Star Atlas. Also, it might be interesting to have a crew composed of members of different species, or at least sets of different species. Because you never know what you're going to stumble upon when you are traveling across the galaxy, right? So maybe you need a diplomat, maybe you need a data runner, maybe you need someone to pilot on a dangerous situation, things like that, you know?
Man, a crew of Miris sounds. I don't know, dude. Like the first sign of trouble, and everyone's like, "Nah, screw this. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm good."
There's not enough escape pods for everyone.
Guys, I
Yeah.
want to stop here and see if there are any questions about the Sogmians or the Miris
Yeah, good point,
before
Santi.
we continue moving. If you want to unmute, guys, if you have any questions or if you want to type it before we continue moving. Let's see. Looks like it's pretty clear. Nice.
Actually, I got a question.
Oh, yeah. Go for it, friend.
Everything that we're talking about, the races and things that you get to pick, is that looking at being released when they do release our actual profile character customization?
Are you saying, are you going to be able to play these characters when there's like the profile customization? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, when they finally release it, because right now the only thing we get to pick is a generic profile picture. We don't get to pick our race, our class, anything like that that would give us these benefits.
Yeah. So you'll be able to choose what species within like a certain faction you want to play, but yeah, obviously you can't yet. But in the future, yes, you will, of course.
Thank you.
Awesome.
There's another good one. Will skill trees be character bound or account bound?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's going to be character bound, like crew member bound.
exactly. That's my interpretation as well. And this is also a very interesting topic that we could have a whole brew around them. But training your crew members and having them master the skills, it's very important in Star Atlas. So yeah, this is interesting.
I cannot wait to see like crews that have different species based on how a specific player wants to play. I'm actually super interested because someone's going to be able to come into general chat and be like, "Hey, I'm forming a crew. Anybody have any tips?" And then they're like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm running the 2 Miris, 1 Ustur, 1 Punab comp right now." And you're like, "Oh, what's good about that?" And then you like start talking about like the different like structures for a crew and everything like that. I can't wait.
That's
I can't
going
wait
to
for
be
conversation.
so much fun,
question.
man.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Especially. Yeah.
Oh, I hear someone with a question. Yeah.
Hey, it's Ray Veezy. What's going on, guys? So exciting.
Hey, Ray.
Okay, so one of my questions is, not to cut you off, Jose, but how limited are you, depending on what faction you are, with how diverse you can make your crew? So are there going to be limitations because you're an Ustur or a Mud with how diverse you can have your alien or Oni side of your crew be built out to be? Is there any like
no limitations
something like
to
that?
my knowledge. No limitations, especially because right now, in terms of lore, the civilizations of Star Atlas are at peace with one another. If maybe the concept of peace was destroyed or something like that, we would see limitations.
But he does make a good point. If my crew is mixed with all 3 factions, are they going to have passports in order to travel between each zone?
Yeah, if you have the passport, you personally one of your characters and he's the captain of the ship, I don't see any problems with you going flying around, you know? It's linked to the authorization of your captain to go to the different spaces in the Star Atlas galaxy. So yeah, I don't see that being a problem.
And it kind of jogged my memory a little bit, but we've talked about this before, being like crew specific species don't like to interact with other specific species, or vice versa. Specific species work really, really well with other specific species. So I think we've talked about before, like, what if you had Oni species on a crew with Ustur species? Would they work better together? Would they work like against each other? Like, would they be a little bit nerfed? I don't know. I'd be interested to definitely hear your thoughts on that, because I think that's also going to be kind of where the meta starts to get formed. What kind of crew you want to build?
That's very interesting, Dominic. And that's another layer when you create or see your in-game crew members, because as you guys noticed earlier in the brew today, I spoke about there being some animosity between Sognians and Miris because their worldviews, their values, they are very different and exotic to one another. What this represents in terms of game? It represents that whenever you create a Sogmian or a Miris, there is a higher or increased chance that this Miris might come out with one of his traits or develop a social trait of prejudice against Sogmians. Something like this. This is my interpretation of how the game design is working around the lore right now. This is, of course, theory crafting that we are doing here today. But yeah, if something is very common to one species, the crew members that belongs to this species has a higher chance of developing it. It doesn't mean that every crew member from that race will be like that, but again, we are heavily influenced by our society and the place that we live in, so there is a higher chance that this happens. And as you were saying, you are absolutely right. Players must account this whenever they are creating their ship's crew, because this can turn to be very dangerous if the bad combinations of crew members happens in Star Atlas, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't want the Usturs to hate us, so I think we should kind of move on to Usturs.
Before, just as a disclaimer, guys, please note that this is subject to change, the information that we're sharing as well, especially because game design works on these things like every day. So these things are subject to change. I just want to make that very clear. And we are theory crafting a lot here, guys, just to make it very, very clear. But now I think, Dom, that's a good call because we had some mad Usturs in the chat.
Yeah, and what can I say? I'm an Ulster myself, so yeah, I'm having a blast theory crafting about the Ulsters. And the Ulsters, they are by nature very different of the other species, right? They have this um, relationship with technology from their creation, and this also reflects on the game mechanics and how the Ulster's character is going to work inside Star Atlas universe. A few things that I was thinking about while thinking how the lore of the Ulsters relate to the game world of Star Atlas is that Ulsters are going to be naturally able to connect with technology from ancient civilizations. Let's say like that, if you are exploring the high risk zone in Star Atlas and you find a piece of technology that doesn't make sense to anyone, like it's totally alien to the current species knowledge, the Ulsters might have a chance of at least understanding what kind of device is that, you know? They have the possibility of understanding and uh, engaging with technology, which might be good in some situations, but bad in others, right? Maybe there is a device, there is a trap in the systems. Yes, Kepler, that's what I was going to get into. The Usturs might suffer attacks from cybernetic causes, just like a biological character might suffer from disease or poisons or things like that. It's not that they become hacked under the control of someone, but they might get problems or, well, I don't want to talk too much about this because this is super theory crafting here, guys, because game design and lore needs to get aligned on this. But for sure, while the Usturs don't get sick as other factions do, they surely are more prone to having problems with cyber attacks and things like that. Another
Are
interesting.
Onis, just I have a question here. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, bro, not worry.
Are Onis good hackers, bro? I'm just curious.
Just asking,
Yeah, no, I'm
asking
just
for a
curious.
friend.
Bringing
Yeah,
it back
yeah,
to
yeah.
Onis, huh? Okay.
Asking for rabies.
Fuck the pirates gonna hate you.
Yeah, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know. What I think that's also interesting here is that the Usturs they might see things that other factions can't see. Because an example here is that, for example, humans can't see certain frequencies of light, right? And the Usturs they have a wider spectrum of things that they can see. So perhaps when you are exploring a dungeon or something like that, an Ustur might see clues or things that other species cannot. And this can be traps, this can be, you know, all sorts of. I don't want to
Careful.
go spoiling stuff here.
Careful.
Yeah, other spectrums
Steady.
of light. Yeah, we can say it like that.
Just can we talk about the Ustur Enlightenment?
Yeah, for sure. Bro, okay. The Ulster society is very different from other species, right? They are one of the youngest civilizations in, at least from what's known about the lore right now, what's public knowledge of the lore right now. And they Ulsters are especially interested in exploring culture, religion, the whole material world that revolves around us. And the development of the Ustur in his journey of exploring the world uh, actually translates in what's called the path of enlightenment. And Usturs have 7 steps of enlightenment. Do you have the? I
I
think
have
I
it.
shared it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have it. I'm going to show in the chat.
yeah. So
I'm on it. Just 1 second, bro.
yeah, he's not an Ustur, guys.
bro, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Awesome. So yeah, every Ustur start themselves in the dot bod rank. We can say it like that. Ustur's name, before that, Ustur's name explains what's the degree of evolution of an Ustur inside the path of enlightenment. The Ustur's name, they are very interesting because their first name is a derivation of a collective noun. And more often than not, this noun is linked with something that's very close to the Ustur personality. So, for example, we have in the Stratos lore, we have Army Elder, which was the faction leader of the Ustur during the Convergence War. And yeah, as you guys know, Army relates to Army because he was a general during this period. So, if you want to learn how old and maybe how wise an Ustur is, you need to check his second name because the second name is the most important one for their species. It's like whenever you talk to an Ustur, if he's of a higher rank than you, it's common courtesy among the Ustur to show respect and reverence because that person was able to discover truths about the galaxy and the universe that you don't know about. So yes, on my I'll not comment on that, Kriegs. On our galaxy, everyone will start on the dot bod, and it will you players. In my vision, what I want to do is I want to create quests or ways for you as an Ustur player to evolve on the path of enlightenment. One thing that I must say here is that the Usturs, they have a collective conscience. And depending on your degree of evolution as an Ustur, you get access to different parts of this collective conscience. The freedom smile dot bot coming soon.
I'm kind of jealous of the Usturs because they can change their name. They can be
Yeah,
like, they
that's
can represent Uster by having like a dot bot or a dot whatever, dot elder.
Well, the Sognians also have their houses that they represent in their names.
Yeah, but I'm not a
So-
Sognian. I'm a Miris, Jose.
Yeah, so you need to be happy sniping people, Dominic.
My bad.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
I'm just joking here. And one I'll share, this is alpha. I never told anyone
Ooh.
before this.
In theory,
But in theory. This is theory crafting of the theory of Usturs, guys. But rumors says that sometimes when an Ustur raises from one rank to another, he stops functioning.
Oh.
Some say that they saw Usturs who were very happy, or they were completely normal, and once they achieved a high rank like teacher or so, he simply would stop walking, sat on a bench, and start staring to the horizon.
Like instead of
Forever.
constant meditation or something like that?
Wait, how does this happen in game though, Jose? Like I don't like. I'm sure when an Ooster reaches like the highest rank, if they're just sitting there on a bench looking out at the sunset, I don't know. They're gonna be pretty. They're gonna be pretty vulnerable, right? They have some auto defenses or anything?
No, this is more of a, how I would tell you in terms of in-game mechanics. And here now we are going full wild theory crafting, because I never even told game design about this.
Hashtag theory
before.
crafting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is like theory crafting of theory crafting. But in Ustur, when they reach a certain degree of enlightenment, he simply doesn't care about this world. Or he receives a knowledge that's so impactful that he can't cope with it. So no one knows, or at least not many people knows, what happens when you ascend to those high ranks. And perhaps this is one of the ways that you can lose crew members as an Ustur, because you might learn very interesting and powerful secrets when you ascend to such a high rank, but your character maybe wasn't ready to do that. So yeah.
Oh, so it's like it's if you were ready, like if you were ready to be kind of enlightened, then you won't just kind of, I don't know, just sit there. But if you were ready, you'll be able to take in that information. Is that kind of what you're saying? And like,
Kind of what I'm saying, but sometimes one is never ready. So there might be a trade-off between the risk of ascending your character or, letting him be as he is right now.
man, I can't lie. Usher sound like a roulette table, dude. Like, do I want to enlighten? Do I want to? I don't know. Get like this new technology and
Again.
upgrade myself.
Again, this
or
is all theory crafting, and
of course, just
yeah,
the
this is
I'm gonna
fun
be
here.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not Ooster, so I mean, I don't care too much. But if I was Ooster, I would like to upgrade in game without the fear that my character is just gonna blank stare into space.
You can upgrade in game without having this fear. This is just a quest line of very specific cultural stuff for the Ustur. Your character can level up, get more skills, and etc., without having to ascend You know, this is a more
It's like a
late game.
Well, this is
prestige
just more
Call of
like a
Duty.
story. This is more
Yeah,
Star Wars story. Okay.
yeah, this is more prestige. This is end game content for Usturs and things like that. You know, and
I mean, I could just imagine. I'm just imagining an Ooster player. You know, they just grinded for 2 years, and they're reaching the final level, final kind of enlightenment of Ooster. They put a lot of work into this character. They enlighten themselves, and then they're just like, "Oh, sorry,
GG's.
you rolled red, but you put black, and now your character is just staring off into space."
no, this isn't good. Again, this is lore side, and
Just
and there's
I
a
get it. I get
and to be honest, we have many people that I have ascended. I'm reading the chat and you're having a blast, guys.
Turn into a plant.
So yeah, I don't want our I don't want our players to go having these kind of problems often. You know, this is just like 1% chance you get screwed when you
No, but
ascend.
I mean, it's
Wait.
really cool though. Like, it's really like Atlas Theory was saying. Not going to lie, Ooster Endgame could get real emotional for role players, and like it really.
No. Come
You're
on.
breaking us, guys. Please.
Yeah. Just continue.
Bro.
Yeah, the chat. I
Bro.
can't read the chat right now, bro.
No, bro. The chat's too
It's
much for me, bro.
madness. It's madness.
No,
I had to
you
mute,
won't
but I'm
lose.
back. I had to mute, but I'm back. Listen,
Go trend. You won't lose your whole game. This is one of your crew members. If you are very, very unlucky while ascending or something like this could happen. But again, I'm not from game design. I'm telling you guys what happens in the lore, and I don't know if they want to add this to the game.
yeah,
You know?
that's fair. That's actually really fair. That's a fair disclaimer. Like, this is just
Yeah.
lore, and it's game design's job to implement this if they so see it as fit. You know.
Yeah. If
So
they
I'm
think
sure
this is
I'm
cool,
sure there wouldn't be like a chance for your, the character that you put 3 years of work into to just like turn off. So I doubt it
Yeah.
anyway. I hope not,
yeah.
for the Ooster's sake.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we'll be discussing in Star Atlas at some point. Will crew members, for example, die of old age? You know? Yeah, exactly, Lordo. That's what I am discussing right now. Um, so it's not only the Usturs that might have to deal with death of crew members. You know? So perhaps Star Atlas is about cultivating generations on generations of crew members, you know. And in the lore, different species have different lifespans. This is surely something. Yeah, this is again only theory crafting, guys. But maybe game design will add those aspects to the game mechanics. You know, like for example, if your Puna reaches X years of age, he'll have a higher chance of every day dying or something like this, you know. Again, theory crafting here, but in the lore of Star Atlas, death is something that happens every day, guys. It's really easy to die in the Star Atlas metaverse, especially if you walk to the wrong neighborhoods. But that's what makes the game exciting. And you guys, as captains, you guys will start to learn about this galaxy, about the secrets that the universe holds. So again, with time, you'll be able to understand how this living world works, and will be more suited or better prepared to deal with the different stuff. Yeah, as Ray was saying, as Ray is saying, we have lots of different things in the Star Atlas galaxy. Like we have a flower that can grant immortality to one of your crew members, one or more. So yeah, there will be lots of cool mechanics. Lots of cool mechanics. We are very, very early. So don't think that we are going to simply, you know, mess up your character career. In a sense, this is not objective at all, but what we want to do is create meaningful experiences for you guys, you know. We want your crew members to be meaningful. There needs to be the risk of death at some extension, especially in the high risk zone, for this to happen. Uh, of course, the game design team knows much better than me what should be done, but for me, Jose, when you ask me about a game, the game that you want to play in Star Atlas, I think that death and the cycle of new generations, they keep the game alive. If you think about us as human beings, if humans were immortal, we would probably be ruled by ancient vampires that have lived 5,000 years. I don't know, something like that, you know? It's death is very important part of this cycle of renovation, of change. So, yeah, this is a discussion that we'll have many times. You guys' feedback is super important on this discussion because you guys will be the protagonists of the game. So we'll have lots of brews specifically on this topic for sure because we want you guys to voice your opinions, to get the conversation going. And this is what the brew is about, guys. About dreaming of this world and creating cool stuff and thinking about how the game could be cooler or more meaningful. And yeah, that's it. I think we are even over time.
I mean, the Ustur faction, for me, super cool lord. Good luck to the game designers realizing that in game for sure. Okay, before we end though, we got to talk about Mud a little bit, Jose, just a little bit.
Well, Mud's characters are super interesting in my point of view. This is actually the Muds are one of the most guarded secrets in Star Atlas because there's lots of passion around them from especially from the other writers of Star Atlas. I'm not directly working on the Muds lore, but what I can tell you guys is that the Mud species, they after they ascended to the stars, humanity went through a lot of trouble. The Convergence War was very painful for humanity, and the way that we as a species cope with it was driving towards the military side. The Muds in Star Atlas, they are very, how can I say it? We became developers, of course, as the other species, but we focused on the firearms industries, you know. That's why the Muds manufacturer, the Pierce manufacturer, creates the strongest weapons in game. Like you can see this in the stats of their ships, and Muds and humanity as a whole had a very big conflict within our species, and that conflict resulted in creating the Ecos faction. And the Ecos factions, they have very interesting lore because they are adapt of an extension of the Gaia theory, where they believe that the planets themselves are alive. So they took to themselves to be the ones to protect the planets in the whole cosmos of the Gaia expanse. So if you guys if you are harming a planet by doing mining expeditions that they feel are not sustainable and things like that, they will come to liberate your planet from your oppression. And it's very interesting because the Mud in the Star Atlas lore, they will be the symbol of yeah, I don't know if I can say this.
In theory.
But yeah, the Muds will be very interesting, guys. Sorry, I'm afraid of talking about the Muds because yeah, it's not me that am writing and creating this, so I'm not sure how comfortable the other guys from Writers Room are with sharing this information. But you guys can expect really crazy stuff from the mods. We are humans. We know ourselves. In Star Atlas, we went to the next level, so it's going to be
So
very interesting.
mods lore in 46. That's what
Yeah, I
we
mean, we are building a giant space station with shards of our broken planets, right? So there's few
That's pretty
things.
sick. I'm not gonna lie.
That's few things that humanity won't do in the Staratus galaxy. So yeah, guys, sorry I can't disclose much on mods.
Cool. Well, I mean, we went over a lot. I mean, it's just nice to know that the different factions and different species within a faction are going to play differently and have their own advantages and disadvantages. I think that makes for a better universe, more in-depth universe, and it just gets me more excited. So
Yeah, man. It was a really nice brew, but I like that we also had more things to speak about for
man, we didn't even get through our agenda. We didn't even talk about Punabs.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Punabs, Fotoli. We didn't give more details on Usturs or
Ufas.
mods, so there's a lot.
Yeah,
Tufas, yeah, right? There's a lot. There's a lot.
I have a meeting now, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would keep the brew going because. But I'll leave this conversation with one last thing.
Okay.
The Fotoli lore and the Tufa lore, they are the main drivers of everything that happens in Galia Expanse, and it's a very, very, very heavy story.
Ooh.
But that's it. This is the teasing. That's how we close the brew today.
Nice.
I mean,
Nice.
yeah, guys. If you guys like this, we can, we have a game structure brew every third Wednesday of every month. We could do the part 2. Definitely have enough content for part 2. So
Can we get some W's in the chat for Jose and Delore?
yeah, W's for Jose. Yeah, absolutely.
W's in the chat for Jose.
Man, the Starless universe that it's being built seriously gets me so excited, Jose.
Yeah, guys, I'm having
Congrats
a
to you.
blast
Congrats to the team.
writing this. This is super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it, the stories and everything that we shared today. This is like a very, very very high tier vision about everything that we are building. So yeah, lots to come. Especially regarding Never Alone, the Mission 2 lore. I'll drop this off as well. Will be
Okay.
We'll be introducing new characters that are from minor factions or outlaw factions inside Star Atlas. So you guys will see how the underworld of Star Atlas works, and I think it's very exciting.
Nice. We'll keep learning. But yeah, guys, thank you, Jose, again for all the insights shared, all the lore. We love the lore, Jose, and we will definitely have a part 2 of this. Just as a recap, guys, we also have, if you're new here, please know that every Wednesday at the same time we meet here in the voice chat, and next Wednesday we'll be chatting about community updates. So if you guys, it's freestyle plus community updates. I just posted the link to the event in the Atlas Brew chat, so go mark as interest. And if you are working on something like that brew, how it works is if you're working on something and you would like to share that with the community, you just message me or Dom, and we'll get you in the agenda for the next brew, so you can share the projects that you're working on or whatever you feel like the community will like to know about anything that you're doing. So make sure to message me or Dom if you want to have some space saved for the next brew for you.
Just a
And
quick note.
yeah,
On that is the community updates brew. The last Wednesday of every month is the best chance for you to advertise yourselves if you're doing something with the Star Atlas IP. So I want to give an example here. Gallia merchants used the last month's same brew. They used it as a chance to advertise themselves as Gallia merchants, and they sold merch. So this is a really, really good chance for not only for you to bring updates on your guild, on anything that you're working on that the community could know about, but it's also really a chance to advertise kind of what you're working on with the Star Atlas IP. So definitely take advantage of it. Reach out to Santi, reach out to myself. We'll get you in the agenda, but it definitely could be powerful. So yeah.
Yeah. Link for the reminder is posted again in the Atlas Brew chat. And make sure to message us if you want to share anything that you're working on. And another reminder is that we have a town hall on Friday, guys. We have a town hall on Friday. So make sure also to mark that as interested. Again, share the link to the event in the chat. So you don't want to miss this one. We have a very, very special guest, Danny Floyd. He's the Chief Product Officer at Star Atlas. So it should be a really fun one. And make sure to join because there's going to be some updates and news shared in the town hall. So it's going to be real fun. So yeah, just make sure to join that one. Again, if you came here looking for the code for the Atlas Brew quest for Silly for Never Alone, it's pinned in the Atlas Brew chat messages, and it's spicy426. So I think that actually is all. Anything you want to say, Dominic, for closing today?
For closing, I would say really appreciate everyone coming today. It was seriously one of the best brews we've had. Really enjoy the lore, really enjoy the universe of Star Atlas. So I want to give a shout out to Jose as well. Definitely have enough content for a part 2. So if you're interested in a part 2 of a brew like this, then definitely show your interest in the chat for sure. We definitely want to know what you guys are interested in. Another thing that I want to just give a quick shout out to is Gladiator was posting in the chat. Just want to kind of say it out loud here too. Is he's giving away 50 ships? I think just from a quick glance, it looks like it's for his guild. So if you're guildless and you're looking for a free ship, check out the video. Give it a watch. Just want to give him a shout out for that. And then yeah, this was the Atlas Brew.
Nice. Jose, I know you have to go to a meeting, so any closing
Yeah.
thoughts, my friend?
Just want to thank everyone for having fun with us, talking about the Star Atlas lore and theory crafting about the game. But yeah, it's awesome to see everyone liking the lore and talking about it. It brings me to the early 2021 vibes here in Star Atlas. It was a very good time, so let's keep exploring that. And the lore will be coming out more and more from now on with every product release. So hanging tight, guys. You learn a lot about Star Atlas.
And the year is just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. We said it. We said it a month ago. We said once one thing comes out, 20 million other things are coming out. Town Hall this Friday.
Let's
Buckle
go.
up.
Let's
Buckle
go.
up.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen.
Fasten your seatbelts, guys. It's going to be a good
We're in
year.
for a good 2023, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
I like it that,
Yes, sir.
Santi. See you
Yes, sir.
guys. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. This was the Atlas Brew number 64. See you next Wednesday at the same time, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Boosters will take over the world.